Even when you manage to take some time off work, do you find that your downtime just doesn't leave you feeling as relaxed and rested as it used to do? Or do you find it hard to switch off and let go of all those jobs going round and round your head? In this video, I'm going to be talking about the phenomenon of time confetti, the impact that this can have on your rest and relaxation, and ultimately the impact that that can have on the success of your business. I'm going to be talking about how you can overcome this and get your downtime back so that you can turn up raring to go and ready to make a real impact in your ELT or ESL freelance teaching business. I'm Rachel Roberts, and I help ELT and ESL freelancers like you work out the best way to use your talents and experience so that you can earn more and work less. You might think that you have plenty of time off work, or maybe you don't, but that's another subject. But are you actually properly switching off in that time? Technology makes it harder and harder for us to ever be truly off, as it's just so tempting to respond to that one email or just to check our notifications or see what's happening on Instagram or Facebook. This might take just a few seconds of your time each time, but it soon adds up. This is a phenomenon known as time confetti. The term was originally coined by Bridget Schult. Those tiny bits of time which eat into and fragment our free time. It might not even be work-related at all. It could be messages from friends or funny videos on TikTok. But it still means that we don't get long, uninterrupted stretches of time where we can truly switch our brains off. Have you ever found yourself with an hour of free time, only to be constantly distracted by notifications and emails? These seemingly insignificant, minute distractions can very quickly add up, leaving us with mere minutes at a time of continuous relaxation. Now perhaps you start to see why this can be such a problem. The brain remains on alert with a higher level of adrenaline ready to deal with all of these things that are coming in. And our system starts to get permanently unbalanced. There's nothing wrong with adrenaline per se, but we're not meant to stay in that kind of state of always switched on all the time. We need to balance that with a more soothing state where we're switched off and relaxed. Otherwise, our system just doesn't work in the way that it was intended. And over time, this is what can ultimately lead to burnout. If we don't ever take time to relax really deeply and to switch off, it can become something of a vicious circle. We want to feel in control, so we take on more and more things and we get busier and busier. And we may start off feeling good about this stress and busyness. We're being very productive, we're achieving a lot. But over time, we can even get to a point where it feels weird to try and stop because the body is so accustomed to that high level of adrenaline. And that's when you can find that even when you take time off, you find it very difficult to actually relax and do nothing. And in some cases, and this used to happen to me a lot, you actually get ill whenever it's time to have a holiday because your body just can't cope with the huge shift in focus. The body isn't designed to work like crazy for months on end and then suddenly stop. So how can we overcome this? Well, obviously we probably need to be taking on less in the first place. But even without that, when we're busy, we can still look after ourselves pretty well, so long as we carve out specific times every day when we stop and properly switch off. That might be walking without looking at your phone, or napping, or meditation, or exercise. But it's really important that it's regular, even if it's as little as 10 minutes, because this helps to stop that crescendo of adrenaline building up. To break free from this cycle, we don't necessarily need to take more time off. Unless, of course, we've already got to the point of burnout when really all you can do is to take time off and rest completely. But we do need to set aside regular times each day for full relaxation. Choose activities that encourage you to unplug from technology and all of those notifications. And imagine these breaks as a kind of reset button for your brain. By consciously stepping away from the time confetti, we allow ourselves to regain focus and clarity, and we're probably going to work much more effectively when we come back. Physiologically, these moments of respite help to stop that build-up to a point where we actually can't turn off the stress response. But how can you make sure that those breaks don't just stay in the Oh, nice idea when I have time to implement this pile. How can we make it happen in our working lives? Firstly, I think you need to recognize that this is not about being lazy or not working hard enough. If you have a lot on your plate, it's more important than ever to schedule in these kinds of reset your brain breaks. Think of your body and mind as a kind of engine. If you don't regularly add oil to that engine, eventually it's going to stop working, and the engine could even be permanently damaged. So it's essential to have these breaks so that you can continue to work effectively. Secondly, there's no point in waiting for the right time to arise for you to take a break, because that's probably not going to happen. Instead, you need to actually schedule in these breaks, ideally before you start scheduling in your work for the day. Treat these breaks with the same respect and priority as you would an appointment with a client. And don't allow yourself or your students to eat into them. Thirdly, think about what you're going to do during these breaks and find activities that you positively want to do or look forward to so that you won't be tempted to avoid them. That might be a short walk, a bit of yoga, sitting in the garden with a cup of tea, or a nap. There's nothing wrong with napping, by the way, quite the opposite. While napping is often frowned upon in Western cultures as being a waste of time or laziness, it's actually been shown to be the most effective way to maximize your brain power, particularly during the afternoon slump. A short nap, by which I mean 10 to 20 minutes, has been shown to improve mood, alertness, the ability of your brain to be creative, and much more. The key is not to let yourself sleep so long that you enter a deep sleep phase. Start with 10 minutes and then set an alarm on the other side of the room so that you're forced to get up. Find out what's the optimum amount of time for you without you feeling drowsy when you come round. Another tip is to have a cup of coffee before you have a nap, because it usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes for the coffee to actually take effect. So you'll come out of the nap just as the coffee is hitting in. And finally, try to reduce the amount of adrenaline that you are creating during those times when you're actually working. Constant pings and notifications are specifically designed to create a stress response within us, so turn those off. Try to stop always being on standby. Set aside specific times when you're going to check and respond to your email or messages. The world isn't going to end if you don't respond to everything immediately. You could even put on an automatic reply which explains exactly when you're going to reply to your messages and emails. Remember, as Denise Duffield-Thomas has pointed out, you are the golden goose in your business, and you need to look after that golden goose if you want it to continue producing the golden eggs. In the next video coming up on your screen, I'm talking about why getting the balance right between working in your business and working on your business can be the thing that makes all the difference between a profitable business and one that just isn't quite working for you.